Hey there, my beautiful overachieving business mamas. Welcome to the Moxie movement, where we're tearing down myths and propelling women like you to success, both in business and at home. I'm Sarah Greener, your guide on this journey, because I've walked this tightrope too. And together, we're here to help redefine what success looks like. Dive in for real talk, actionable steps, and a community that gets the hustle of juggling motherhood, wife life, and that entrepreneurial drive. It's time for a little Moxie. If you are sitting at the dinner table and you can't reach that salt, you don't just eat dinner with no salt. You ask someone to pass it to you. That's the difference between resources and resourcefulness. Resources is what you can immediately put your hands on in your business. And resourcefulness is how you get something you don't already have. And I think it's something we mix up sometimes in our businesses, and it gets us a little bit stuck. I've been in this for a little while now, and the number of times I ask people what is in the way between where they are and where they want to be, they tell me money. And often the thing that they're trying to get is more sales, more customers, basically an outcome that will bring more money into their business. And the thing that they think will make them more money and make it easier to make more money is, get this, money. Over the years, I've discovered that it's very rarely a lack of resources that is keeping me stuck in my business. And we have had our most success often when our resources were limited because it required us to tap into our resourcefulness. It required us to tap into how we could use what we already had to level up, rather than looking around for someone to give us some more money. Now, it's 2023, people, so you can just look around for people to give you some more money. I think an element of this has come out of many of the government's pandemic responses where they were actually giving out money to businesses. I can assure you that this is not a normal government response. It is not something I'd ever seen in my nearly 20 years in business until the COVID-19 pandemic. And yes, you can go and borrow money from family and friends and business loans. And I don't know that always serves you. I don't know that's always making your business better. Because if you have a look inside your business, you've got so many resources. And if you just started putting them together in a different way, you might get a different outcome. And so we have a saying around here, it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. You have everything you need right now in your business, you just have to use them in a different way. I think back to when we first got started in business, we didn't have a lot of resources. We got started just before the global financial crisis in 2008, and we didn't have a lot of spare cash. And so we had to think differently about how we were going to do things. And we could always figure things out. We could always do things a bit differently. We could always do marketing in a way that other people weren't doing it. We didn't have a lot of spare cash, but we had the ability to take great photos. And back then, social media was a new thing. And so we used social media in a really resourceful way. And we used the guests that had been on our boat in a really resourceful way, where we asked them, every single person, for a referral. We asked every single person to take a brochure with them and to pass it on to someone else. We were very resourceful. With the limited resources we did have, we amplified them in a really big way. And if I look at our journey all the way through, all the years that we've owned businesses, wherever things got really contracted, we got really resourceful. Whereas when we had an abundance of resources, we got a bit lazy. We relied on the fact that we had extra cash lying around, and so therefore we didn't need to work or be quite as resourceful. And so we want to make sure that we take advantage of the resources we have in our business and we use them in the best way possible. So what do I mean by this? You might have a whole list of emails in your business and you've not emailed them recently. You've not told them what's going on in your business or let them know that you have a new product in. You might have some really good friends that have connections to someone who might be a great joint venture or partnership opportunity for you, whether that be in terms of marketing, whether that be in terms of generating a product, whether that be in terms of raising your profile. You might have a whole list of past customers that have used you in the past. When was the last time you reached out to them and said, oh, hey, how's it going? How are things working for you right now? Is there something I can help you with? You might have a whole lot of old stock sitting around getting dusty. I had this with a client the other day and just, man, cash flow's really tight. And I was like, oh, that's hard. That makes things tough. I said, talk to me about your stock levels. And she's, oh yeah, I've got about $250,000 worth of stock. In fact, I have so much stock, it doesn't even all fit in the store. I was like, okay, that's a whole lot of cash just sitting there getting dusty. Let's get rid of it. And so she went on a deliberate mission to move all that old stock that had been sitting around so she could, one, she could stop paying for the storage unit, and secondly, she could get some cash coming into her business. Sometimes it's your skills and tools. I've got a client who had a membership business where people were paying her some money every week to have access to her content, and she wanted to generate another income stream. And I was like, cool, what are you good at? And she was like, well, I'm really good at social media, I could teach people how to do that. And I was like, cool, let's do that. And in less than 9 months, might even only be 6 months, this particular business owner now has 2 other income streams on top of her original one by tapping into skills and tools she already had and just packaging them up in a different way. Our ability to make our businesses grow and move forward and create momentum doesn't always come down to needing more money. Sometimes it comes down to how can we use the resources we've got already inside our business in a smarter way. And often we're not using them even a little bit because we're slightly addicted to the new and shiny thing. Instead of selling to the leads you already have inside your business, we think we should go and find leads in a new way. We should do a new marketing campaign and we should pay someone to do that marketing campaign for us. Or instead of selling the way that things have already been working, like I had a client the other day where they've moved and expanded their capacity to produce more, and we talked about what they should be focusing on, and they were really excited about all the new things they could do with this new space. And I was like, okay, but what's worked in the past? And they're like, oh, the emails work really well and our social media works really well. And I was like, great, let's tap those out first and then we'll build the new thing. And the reason I tell people to do that is because it will take less to get that thing you already have in your business working than it will to start a whole new thing. It'll take less for them to get this old pipeline running fast and flowing with sales than it will to set up a new way of selling things. And that's always true. Now, I'm not saying you should never do something new. And if you're looking for low-hanging fruit, if you're looking to turn on the tap and bring some cash in, get some new resources in your business really quickly, you want to look at what's worked in the past and make that happen. For us, when COVID hit, we went back to the old tried and true method of cold calling business industries that had come on a cruise with us in the past. Cold calling in 2020. So it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. If you're feeling like things are a bit contracted at the moment, like you haven't got enough time or you haven't got enough money or you haven't got enough team members, when you just sit back and look at what you do have and go, how can I deploy this differently or more often or in a smarter way that will generate more value for me and my business. Because you already have everything you need. You don't need anything more. There's a whole industry out there, I know, selling you more, that you need another funnel and you need another marketing campaign or you need another way to sell things. And yeah, sometimes that's true. Most of the time though, you have everything you need. All the resources you need are sitting right in your business right now. Let's just deploy them in a really resourceful manner. Remember how scrappy you were when you got started? Remember, you would do anything to make it work. What if you just spent one day a week being scrappy like that again? Tapping into all your resourcefulness, all your adaptability, all your thoughts, and actually implemented that in your business. What would happen? I'm pretty sure all of a sudden you'd have a whole lot more resources in your business than you do today. Don't sit around and wait for someone to hand you some more resources, and by that, cash. Don't sit around and wait for it. You've got everything you need to generate it. Just go and make it happen. I believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself right now, that's okay. You can just steal a little bit of my belief for a little while. You've got this. Because by going out and tapping into that resourcefulness, you are going to become that glorious exception. And you might just find your moxie along the way too.